Hello everyone. Here we will discuss about throw class, which is using to throw the exceptions generated by the system. If user wants to throw the single exception explicitly at a time from your method or inside the block of code, whenever an error or exceptional condition is occurring that the program cannot handle at runtime. So at that time we can use the throw class to throw the exception inside the method or from the block of code. Then the exception handler also can be used inside the same block or outside of that block. Here the syntax is given: throw is the keyword, then new is the keyword, then exception underscore class, any exception class we can use, then here the notification message to the user. The example is given here: throw keyword, then new keyword, then exception class. Here I am using IO exception, then here the error message for notification to the user. For example, here throw x is the class name, then main method is defined here receiving the command line arguments as a string data type. Then I am declaring the integer variable here age equal to 17. Just I am checking this the person who is having the age, right, the 17 is eligible for voting or not. Here I am comparing the condition age less than 18. If so, then it has to throw the exception, that arithmetic exception, not eligible to vote. Okay, else if the age is age is here greater than the 18, suppose I am passing 20, then 20 less than 18 is here false. If it is false, then else block will execute, he is eligible for vote. So when you are executing this program, you will get the runtime exception. You see here, when you are running the program, you are getting the java.language exception, then not eligible to vote. Here it is throwing the exception, but which is not handled here, right? For handling the exception, we have to use try catch block. Here I have given in this example same code, the code which is raising the exception here. This is the line which is raising the exception, that should be mentioned inside the block of try. Okay, so inside the try block I am declaring the variable, and if condition is given, then I am using that arithmetic exception to throw that exception here inside that try block. Then this catch exception raised here is handling by the catch handler. So just it is storing the value here, then just it is notifying to the user age is less than the 18, so he is not eligible. So from the previous program, you look at here we did not handle the exception, right? So to handle the exception, we have to use try catch block. But here, why do we use the throw class then? So throw class to handle or throw the exception inside the method. So inside the method itself we are handling this, throwing the exception and handling the exception, right? So this can be done by defining different method. Instead of using the main method directly, we can use different method. Here you see I am using the another example. Here I am using a separate method get file here, which is throwing IO exception, right? And here I am using object to as a variable which is accessing the file from the D drive b.txt. If this file is not available, then exception will be raised. Then the tracing exception should be thrown. So here I am using the keyword throw, run, then exception class, then just notification to the user. So now this exception is throwing, then this exception is passing to this here throws keyword. Then through this we are receiving the exception inside the try block which is available in the main method. Then this exception is handling by catch class, right? Then which is using the IO exception as a class, then which is storing the catch the exception value, then which is displaying here. You see this file does not exist, this message notification to the user. So here what we are observing, the difference between the previous example and this example, the exception is throwing from inside the method, right, and handling in another method. That method is here main method. So inside the main method we are handling the exception, but the exception is throwing from the get file method. So that is the uh, information we should learn from this example. The next example is here. You see, I am not going to use throws exception because here already I am using throw class. Then why should I use throws IO exception? Then I am removing this. So for that I am using the try block inside the method itself. Okay, the throw keyword is here throwing the exception inside the method, but which is inside the try block, right? So the try block is available inside the get file method itself. Then the exception which is throwing by using the throw keyword, then that exception is handled by catch class. Then that message is stored in the variable e, then which is displaying here. The method is invoking by the main method here, public static void main. Then the control is passing over to this um, calling method. Okay, so here we are handling the exception which is rising inside the method in that same method itself. That is the information we should learn from this example. And here we are going to use unchecked exception. Unchecked exception is string out of bounds exception. Here I am using the method out of bounds. Inside that just I am throwing the exception, so which is invoking this out of bounds is invoking inside the main method. So when you are using this kind of things, here you see we did not have any string, so it will generate the string out of bound exception. You see, language dot string out of bounds exception, this index value is invalid, there is no string, that's why it is showing the index value is invalid, string out of bound exception. How do we handle this? So here we can handle this by introducing the try catch block, right, either here or inside the method itself. So I am using the next example here. I am using the throw keyword to throw the exception which is showing string index out of bounds exception, and handling in the main method by using try block. So the exception which is rising here, that is transferring to the calling method here, then which is handled by the catch class. Then that value rising by the exception here, that is stored in the variable e, then that is printing to the user's notification. So here you see java.language.string out of bounds exception, the string is index value is invalid, it is handled now. Okay, that exception is handled, right? But in the previous example we did not able to handle the exception, right? So because we did not use the catch class to handle that exception, right? So here we are using the catch class to handle that exception. That is the difference between previous example and this example. Here we are having the difference between throw and throws. Throw is used to throw an exception for a method or block of code inside the method. Okay, but here the throws keyword we will use to define in the method signature itself. You see here we are using the throws keyword in the method signature itself, but throw keyword is used in the inside the method. Okay, there is a difference between these two. And throw keyword cannot throw multiple exceptions. For example, here when you are using throw, then new keyword, then exception class, right, then you will give only single notification. Here single class only can be used. But when you are using throws exception, so throws then exception type 1, then exception type 2, then exception type 3. So like that you can define n number of exceptions here, exception types here. So that is the thing. Here we are having the difference between these two classes, right? So here throw is followed by an object, that is the new keyword. Okay, so here we will use new keyword whenever we are using throw class, but here we are not going to use throws new keyword, right, which is following by the uh, class or method name, like that. So here we are using only inside the method, but here we are defining at the time of method signature itself. Thanks for watching.